Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the instant match reaction. Leicester City 2, Everton 0. Another really poor display. And I'm genuinely worried. I'm really worried. I was encouraged by the second half on Wednesday night, and I can see what David Unsworth was trying to do today by setting up in a similar way. But unfortunately, it got left far too open with the players that are available to us, and we were just well, certainly for the first goal we were just cut open from our own free kick. The problems are there. The problems are the players. They're just not good enough. It's as simple as that. They're just not good enough. They haven't gelled at all this season, whether that be through the lack of a pre-season that was gauged towards building a team rather than getting a team into the Europa League, or because of the amount of games, the lack of time we've had to prepare through the previous managers' use of players and formations and not sticking to one thing. We just look all over the place, and also, I mean, obviously a big factor is just the lack of pace in the team as well. It's just a huge amount of lack of pace. I mean, obviously he brought Lennon in and Morales to try and arrest that, but we don't have it in midfield. We don't have anyone. We don't have anyone in the centre of the park who's dynamic. I think that's the word, dynamic enough to get round. And because of that, and because we don't have a way of playing, it shows where we can't defend and we can't score. I think what has to happen right now is the board have to make a very quick decision. Obviously, there's a lot of conjecture and a lot of rumours about Mashiri wanting one thing and Bill Kenwright wanting another thing. Mashiri's pining for that another Hollywood manager, and Bill wants a more British in the sort of vein of David Moyes. The simple fact is, the management decision, the next manager has to be a manager that suits our predicament. Sadly, now by looking at that game today, it needs a specialist who can organise a team. I look at Twitter and stuff, and I see a lot of people saying, well, the next manager is going to have the same problem. And of course he is. He's going to have the same problem. But there's managers who can... this is horrendous, isn't it? Even some of these things. But there's managers out there who know how to organise football teams so they don't concede goals, and they go from there. And there's teams that, have done well. Look at... I'm not advocating someone... But look at Pulis, someone like Pulis, who got West Brom to what? Did he finish 9th or 10th last season? They didn't really have a top goal scorer, but they were organised at the back. They didn't concede many goals, and they nicked them with set pieces. And that's essentially what we need to do in the short term. This season now, for me, it's about... I know it's only, 10 games in? It's about survival now. It's all about survival. It's about staying in the Premier League. We have to win 10 games now, between now and the end of the season. From 28 games is there? We've got to win 10 games to stay in the Premier League. That's the realism of this now. That is the realism. And we need a manager who can get a poor side to work together. And that's the top and bottom of it. Building a team, and utilise everybody. It's a strange mix at the moment. I mean, David Unsworth's gone back to basics. I understand that. The likes of Vlasic, who's not injured, his sister confirmed that he's not. But he said that in the week. He said he wants to learn about those players. You can't just dismiss those players. You can't just dismiss the likes of Sigurdsson. You have to somehow get your best players into a team. And I don't mean cramming them all in. I mean, if there's players out there, if there's players who can do a job in a certain position, they have to be played. David Unsworth has to do that. Sigurdsson, I seen last night, I was shocked by it. Sigurdsson's created the most amount of chances this season for us. Now, whether that be set pieces or not, it doesn't matter. That's what he's done for us already. That's a fact. We have to somehow harness that. We have to utilise that. We have to get a manager who can work with that. You know, that's ultimately the problem. You've got to get a team together that works. And whatever the makeup of it, whatever it is. But today we were all over the place. The first goal, I don't understand why Tom Davies doesn't just put Gray off the pitch. 5 minutes later, he takes a booking for doing something in our own half. There, he could have, you take a booking, you foul him, you put him in the stand, you do whatever you need. And then Garner does the same thing. Instead of holding him up, he dives in, lad skips past him. And to be honest, that was the difference between them and us today. Gray got man of the match, I think. He was the difference because of his raw pace. Absolute raw pace. That's what we needed to buy in the summer. Just a player with raw pace who could get us from, A to B quickly. We just don't have it. And without Lukaku and Ross Barkley, we're just a very, very, very average side. And, the second goal is a whip ball and Kenny just cracks it into his own goal. And it hasn't gone down as an own goal, but the older players are struggling because they're slow. The younger players look like they're struggling because they're low on confidence. Davies and Kenny look terrified and making wrong decisions. I believe that those players in a better team would be okay. You get them through, but they just look miles off. But, as I say, they're just young kids. The likes of Williams and Jagielka and Baines, Rooney at times. I mean, Rooney's he's a complex issue because I see so many people moaning about him. Yeah, he creates our best chances. He's created the one inside for Lennon. He put one in the second half in the ass where his first touch was horrendous. But then he gives the ball away. And he gives the ball away in areas that allow the opposition to break very quickly. He's an enigma. He's our top goal scorer. He's another one in a good side or a side that's playing well. You get away with that kind of thing. But can we afford that in this side at the moment? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is if it stays like this at the end of the season, we would get relegated. It's as simple as that. We would get relegated. Because we're just poor. We can't defend and we can't score goals. And we don't look like we do either. I mean, second half, I thought Morales was our best player in the first half, and he took him off. And yes, he took him and Lennon off, and that allowed us to have more possession. But we didn't do anything with it. We didn't create any chances. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's been grounding, literally grounding to the floor. The young lad from Sheffield United shouldn't be leading the line for us, a team that we're trying to get into the break into the Premier League top 6, and then the ass comes on and he shows flashes, but he's not a very good footballer. Let's be honest. And apart from that, we've got little else. And it's really, really worrying, really worrying. It's fine, everyone going, oh, they'll be all right, they've got quality. It's not about having quality, it's about how it gels together. And as I say, the manager has to, the owner and the chairman have to get on the same page and make a very fast decision. Now, listen, you read stuff and you see Silva is Machiri's. Now, Silva wouldn't be a bad shout because he took over Hull when they were bottom and they nearly got out of it, and he started very well with Watford. He'd be very hard to get out, but he could maybe be the perfect balance because he seems to play good attacking football, but he's been in that, although he did get relegated. Then you got someone like Sean Dyche, who you would get as organised. It's as simple as that. People mightn't like it, but he'd get as organised. that's what we've put ourselves in. That's the predicament we've put ourselves in. Beggars cannot be choosers now. We are next week's game against Watford now is huge. Forget Leon. Leon, honestly, just send kids to Leon. I'm not asked, honestly. I'm not interested. Send kids. We're out the Europa League. We're gone. It's finished. Just send kids. Send Franny Jeffers to manage them as well. Everyone stay here and just work all week on shape and set pieces. Scoring from set pieces and shape all week. Because that's what we need to do. Watford will come next week and they'll be very organised. And if we don't get 3 points next week, it's bordering into... Because other teams, let's get this right, other teams who are poor have got a way of scoring. Whether it be set pieces, whether it be they've got a decent striker and a bit of pace and get a bit of luck. Look at someone like West Ham. They're shite. But they've got a few fast players. Even Palace, they're shite. But they've got the likes of Sahara who can get them out of trouble now and again. I don't know if we've got that. And that's what worries me more than anything. And January feels a very, very long away. But would it matter? No, I'm very, very concerned. And I just think for the sake of the football club and the future and the stadium and everything that goes with being in the Premier League, they've got to make this decision quickly and they've got to get it right. And there can't be any petty boardroom squabbling. And I also think there needs to be a bit more clarity of what's going on at the club. Who makes the decisions? Who made the decisions on the players that were bought in the recruitment and the players who weren't bought? A left back, a centre back, a striker. Those 3 positions. It's absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal that we did not get those 3 positions. Criminal. And it's mad when people say about football and say about all the ex-players and all the experts, and yet all the fans were saying that's what we need. That's what we need. And you know what? In the summer it was great, wasn't it? We were buying players, bang, 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 bang. And it was great and there was a positivity. And then there was that little lull when we were trying to get Sigurdsson and we weren't bringing players in. And that's when we should have been getting those players. And that's when the light started blinking with fans. Because people start to get worried. Yeah. And I'm just going over old ground, but it's just shite. It's just shite, and it needs to be sorted quickly, because I have said this. I'm getting really worried. You know, that's a performance today. Unsworth's supposed to come in and pick them up, and as I say, we've seen a little bit of that second half. I didn't see any of that today, and I'm not putting the blame on Unsworth. I'm not. He's just trying to pick up the pieces, but it shows what kind of job it's going to need, because Leicester were a point above us, and they looked miles better than us today because they've got pace. It's as simple as that. Pace and a little bit of organisation, and they were fine. They never looked like they were going to concede, although we should have had a penalty, yes, and I know we should have had a penalty, but they never looked like they were going to concede, and they always looked like they had a goal in them because they've got pace. And the fellow who scored their first goal, we should have broke the bank for him in the summer. We should have broke the bank for him. Should have broke the bank for him, and should have broke the bank for someone like Benteke. It didn't. I know it's. If we were prepared, if we were prepared to pay £45 million for Sigurdsson, then we should have broke the bank for Benteke or Vardy. We really should, because football's about scoring goals, and we can't do that. And yeah. Anyway, make sure to look out for Baz's instant reaction, his player ratings, and the final word tomorrow. It's miserable. I'm going to go and watch Stranger Things and eat loads of chocolate and try and cheer myself up. See you later.